Hey everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. We're here doing attack hit properties and things like that today. Hope you all had an eventful weekend. Got a 3-day weekend under ourselves, but yep. I know some people sticking around from the pre-chat. Thank you for being here. And just give a few minutes for people to come on in and we'll get started. Got anything interesting to talk about? Any questions about what's been doing in previous streams? Anything like that? Last time we implemented the actual reaction side of the hit properties, which means basically we took the actions, right? And we added a new launch action that lets you send enemies into the air. But the thing is, we hard coded those hit properties to actually cause the launch. And now we want to have the ability for, say, a theoretical designer, you go in and change the hit property on every attack, so you don't have to be stuck with the one kind of hit that we have right now. And if we look at that, I believe it was the hit event. Yeah, we added these. We added a launch property. We added like air knockback property. Actually, I don't have. I'm not showing the screen, am I? So yeah, we added like these 3 new properties to our hit event, which is something we assign during a collision, and then it gets processed in the reaction system, as you can see here, right? We added like is launch, and this is hard coded right now. We don't want that. We want to actually go in and have these properties assignable per attack in our JSON data. Yep. And then pretty much today, the goal is, we're going to add the JSON data. Then we need to hook up things in the collision system if there's any need to do so. And I believe there is. What we're going to do is, right now we're manually assigning each perimeter in our collision system. Right? We're just appending to this array each a single hit event with these properties manually set. What we're going to want to do is either copy the properties from our JSON data, our serialized JSON data, or we'll just copy it, the whole thing over. And what I'm thinking, we're just going to copy the whole thing over, so we don't have to manually assign to these fields. There would be there is a reason to do that in case you want to have some kind of programmatic, if you want to kind of have some separation from design data and game state. There might be a good reason to do that, but for our purposes, I think it's simpler if we just copy directly the hit properties from the JSON data. Which means we'll probably have to do a bit of refactoring. Instead of this hit event having these individual properties, we'll have to just append the hit property struct and then use that in a reaction system. So it'll be a bit of work there. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. It's just like we're going to add it to the JSON table, hook up the hit properties. There might be something we need to do. Oh yeah, we need to hook up hit properties in the reaction system. Maybe it's not in the reaction system itself. Well, I forgot exactly all the places we use the hit event. Where do we use all the hit events at? Oh no, we have collision system component. Reaction system? We have some stuff, right? We have this like assignment of initial velocities and such, right? And knockback, and so we'll have to hook it up there as well. Okay, so it looks like we got a few people in the chat now, so I'll get going. Hope you all doing good. Okay, so first thing we're doing is going to add things to our JSON data, right? And which means we have to go look through our, I think it's character data source file here, and we should have something like attack. So we have attack hitbox groups, and I talked about this a little bit in the pre-stream, but there's basically kind of 3 options I could take here to support designer assignable hit property data. One thing I could do is I could do per hitbox, right? And that would give us the ability to have every hitbox have different properties, but that's kind of a mixed bag, right? Because then when we're debugging issues, if you have like every hitbox and having different properties is potential. There's potential where you want the hitboxes to have the same properties, so you have to copy the properties per hitbox. But if you actually change one value and forget to change the other, you can get in some kind of nasty situation. So I think it's better to have groups of hitboxes that have a specific hit property struct assigned to them. That way you can have as many hitboxes as you want, but you'll still have the hit property. And on top of that, if you do need to have a set of if you need to have two sets of hitboxes with different like properties, like for example, I think in Smash Brothers, is it Roy that has like a different property on the tip of his sword? You could do stuff like that using this scheme. So there's like kind of a third option where you have hit properties and hitbox. You have the hit property, and then you have the hitbox group, but they're separate on a timeline, theoretical timeline. And as long as they're like on the same frame active, then you can use these hit properties. The problem is if you have like multiple groups of hit properties, you run into issues there, and you have some validation issues. And you kind of want designers to not have to set up the data exactly right. You don't have to worry. So the designer really shouldn't have to worry too much about the structure of the data. They should be just worried about their intent and not making sure everything's perfectly set up. So anywho, so you can see we have these attack hitbox groups right now. And right now we just have a hitbox group, right? And there's no hit properties whatsoever. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to add a new array here that has the hit properties, the new combined hit properties plus hitbox group. Hitbox group is just a set of hitboxes. If we go jump at this, so we have a start frame duration and a set of hitboxes. So we'll have a new not hit property. So first we have to have a hit property, and we have to have an attack. Let's call it attack property. Hit property, attack property. Attack property has hitboxes. We could think probably a little better about the naming of this. But yep. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and just make it here. Let's just start with a new attack property. So go to attack property and go through here. And first thing we do is we need to have hitbox group. So we'll have hitbox group in the same way. We have a hitbox group here. So we'll just take this here. Add the hitbox groups. And now we need to have, what else we need to do? Sorry. I'm just checking any other place, something we need to forget maybe about. We don't need to do this kind of thing. Okay, so, yep, I think we're good here. And we need to add like a hit property. So, say, called a hit property. Okay, and then we'll add all our like properties like launch velocity and stuff like that here in a second. So, let's just see the attack hitbox group first, and then let's call our hit properties here. Okay, I think that is good, maybe potentially. Let me double check. Is that proper zig? I'm trying to think if we need any kind of initialization on this struct itself. We might have to do some kind of JSON stringify thing. I don't know when we need to override this function. Hey, we'll get to that problem when we get to it, I guess. So the first thing I want to do is look at what we have in our hit event right now, right? Hit event, is that what it's called? No, it's in our collision system we have a hit event, right? So we're gonna jump through here. Okay. Oh. Where's our hit event at? It's the type hit event. Yeah, that's what I thought. So hit event. It's over here, right? So we have these properties. So I'm just going to copy them directly into our JSON structure. Okay. Character data, right? Okay. Okay. Yep, here we go. Those all go there. And honestly, it's been a while since I've messed with this serialization code. So it's likely that I'm not doing things properly, and we'll fix those issues that crop up when they crop up. Okay, so we have our hit property and our hitbox groups there. Now, we still have this attack hitbox groups here. That's eventually going to go away. But for now, so we don't break anything, I'm just going to add, let's say, attack properties here. And anyway, we want an array, as before. In a Zig array list, which is an expandable array. That's going to be our attack property type. I think we're good here. Let's try to build real quick, see if we have any issues. Probably do. We do have some issues. Okay. What's the issue? Terminal will be... that's not what I wanted. Problems. There we go. Oh, we expected a thing. Oh, whoops. So, yeah, I think when I was messing around earlier, I accidentally changed some stuff by accident. So give me a second here. Let's revert this. First, I gotta do discard changes. Yes, there we go. And I think we're good here. It should be fine. Missing field attack properties. What are we doing? Okay. Missing field attack properties. Go here, go here. Oh, so we have to assign the field here when we init. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So, I dropped my controller. Okay. Let me move that over here. There you go. Okay. Yep. So we need to init that. So let's do it above the. So I think it should be attack properties. Oops. We don't have an init function yet, so I guess we do have to implement an init function. Whoops, don't do that. What is it complaining about now? This should be fine. But for now, I'm going to try to build, and it's probably going to complain about lack of an init function or something. So instance of struct, right? So missing field hitbox groups. So yeah, we need to have an init function. I believe maybe we don't. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. We need to have an init function. So okay. And how does that ends up getting structured? It's we don't put a we do put a comma. Give me a second to think here. Okay, we'll just do this. I don't know if we need these other things like JSONify thing or whatever, but we'll play by ear. Delete this for now. And then, so we need to return an attack property that has hitbox. Yeah, we have hitbox groups assigned to here. Standard array, not hitbox, but a standard array of. Hold on a second. What does our init function do? Typically, hitbox groups. We can just do this, right? I don't think we need to do what I was doing here. So hitbox groups will be. Sorry. So hitbox groups would equal this, I believe. Okay, because it already has its own like init function, so we're good there. And hit property, I think hit property can just equal the default, right? So we actually don't have any default values for these, do we? Let's just say, is that actually maybe that's fine? I don't know. I was gonna complain. No member name hitbox group instruct character data hitbox group. Oops. Oop. What's the problem? 52. So we have an attack property. It should have a field.hitbox group, right? Which is here. That is a standard array, and this is initialization of it. Just trying to remind myself some Zig stuff. Okay. What do we do in here? So we do something like that here, right? We have the action properties, which their attack hitbox group is just allocated in the same way, right? So that's fine, I think. I don't know why it says no member name hitbox groups. Is that? Yeah, I mean, we have a Discord. Sorry, we have a Discord for our Zig fighting game development stream, so people can ask questions there. Let me give you a link here, real quick. I'll just copy in chat. If you have Discord, let's see. Let me make a link real quick. I think it's invite people. Is that right? Copy. Maybe that's right. Okay, let's see if that works. Let me know if that works for you, and then you can join the Discord and ask questions. I'm usually available, not all hours of the day, but I'll eventually get to you. Okay. Yeah. Zig problems. Learning stuff about Zig. Okay. So, because it's been a long time since I've done this initialization stuff in Zig, it's going to take a second here for it to click. Okay. So, okay, here we return an action property, which is this struct, right? And we assign the field using this initialization function. It takes an allocator, which, so it knows how to use memory, and don't need to. I think it looks good there. I think the problem is I didn't do that. That's a problem. There we go. The return type is the issue. Okay, missing field hit property. Cool. So we need to assign hit property. So I think I could do hit property. Since this doesn't need allocator, there's no like array or anything, it should be able to just equal this, like the default initializer. That's my guess. No. No. Oh yeah. If we just do 0, 0, 0, did we stop getting those errors? Missing field guard stun. Yeah, so we'll start everything to 0. Here, my default, false, 0. Not pretty, not aligned, but should work. Okay, there we go. Yay, nothing breaks here. That's fine, fair enough. So, I know in the past we had like unit tests to check all our data is loaded properly. I'm not going to do that right now. It takes time. So what we want to do is just go ahead and start trying to load up that data. So we need to add a attack property. Sorry. We need to add our attack properties to our actual our test character data. So for example, let's see. Our launch attack, right? Our launch attack. So we need to go through and find where our attack is. So right now we have attack box groups here. That's a reaction, witness reaction. So I think we only have the one attack right now. So let's just do it there. So we have attack, or hit boxes, vulnerable groups, attack box groups. So we'll have to go through and add a new property here. So I think it was what, attack properties. Okay, that's our new field, and it's an array, and then each struct has its own fields. First one being hitbox. I think it's hitbox groups. Is that the name of the group? We named it. Okay. Yeah, hitbox groups and hit property. Okay. So hitbox groups. That's what is going to be an array, and also hit properties, which is, whoops, hit property, I think, which is the table. Well, not a table. It's a key value thing. Okay, so we're just going to leave it kind of empty for now, and then, well, this maybe assign one property just so we can check to see if it works. So let's say is launch. Oh, sorry. So is launch. Cool. Do we have true anywhere? Yeah, we can do true. It's fine. Oh, we don't do equals. We do colon because it's JSON. And hitbox groups. Let's add some hitboxes. We can just copy this struct. Yeah. There we go. So we have one hitbox group here. And so actually there's one thing. Well, we actually don't have to worry about this because we'll just pull in the hit property, but maybe in some other world we want to pull out the timeline, the start frame and the duration, and put it in the actual attack properties itself. It's fine. We can just check the hitboxes. and just assume that the hit properties there are valid for those hitboxes. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so I think that's good. Oh, sorry, we need to put a comment here. Hopefully things load without crashing. Okay, we're good. And did we ever add a print function to like show the serialization as a test? I probably did. But let's assume everything's working at the moment. Hopefully, cross our fingers. Because I don't want to go through all that rigmarole at the moment. Okay, so what we need to do is actually pull in the data at our time of our collision. So that's on our collision processor. Oops, I keep calling processor. That's an Unreal thing. It's collision system, and so you see here we have is launch is set to true. So instead of doing that, just to kind of test our code real quick, we need to pull in that hit property. So one thing though is we're looping over all the attack boxes at the moment. So I think it's like attack hitboxes. So see how we do that? So instead of doing that, we're going to want to loop over all our hit properties. And then it might add a little bit of complication here. I'm going to simplify things a little bit, I think. Because I really don't want to spend a lot of time updating the collision processor to loop over all the potential attack properties per action, and then all the hitbox groups on each of those. Just in the reality, I would do what I'm doing here, which I have like multiple sets of hit properties per attack properties per action. But because it does complicate the collision system, and I don't want to spend time on that yet, I will. Every action only gets one attack property. I'll just do that. It'll simplify things quite a bit in the collision system. It's not that much additional work, but honestly, still pretty early in the morning for me. I don't want to get dragged down by some Zig stuff I absolutely forgotten at this point. So we can double back and support that kind of thing later. So you see how I did this attack property hit with an array. Sorry, instead of an array, we'll just have it be an attack property directly, and then notice we do this. Well, so I think we could just do attack property out init, because we added a init function, right? That should work. And then we need to make sure that the data isn't an array. See how we have attack properties as an array? Get rid of the array part and just make it a single struct, basically. Okay. Now does it load? No, what did I do wrong? What didn't I like about that? Expected type character attack property and got attack got a type of a bunch of things with an error. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that doesn't work because I didn't add attack property. I didn't add a no, I have a init on attack property. That's fine, it's fine. Okay. What did I miss up here? Attack properties. Yeah, so let's rename it to attack property as well. It doesn't need to be attack properties, but let's go back to our JSON updated as well. Didn't expect to type. Let's just redo it real quick so I can have the right name. Let's see. Type info, character data, attack property, init, attack property equals init allocator. Expected type. It's because of the error union thing. The thing is, we can't really. Well, we can error out of this. What did I do wrong here? Anyone help me out? Oh, okay. Hi. So, does that have to do like a try or something? Is that the issue? I don't know. I don't really know any of this stuff works. Oh, okay. I got it. Does that okay. Magic. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So, you know how we have like we're gonna get translated to active hitboxes here, right? With this group. Instead of doing that, we're gonna change this to action data dot. It's gonna be action data dot attack property dot hitbox groups. Okay. So we're no longer using the old hitboxes. We're gonna leave them there just for reference, and eventually remove it once we no longer need old data. But often in game dev, you'll want to keep the old data around when you're migrating stuff to a new structure. Anyway, so that should just automatically give us this hit properties for that attack, and in theory, it just works. We'll see though. Let's turn on our hitbox viewer here. Was it 4? Okay, and we still have the hitbox, and it still works. Cool. Anyway, so now when we actually assign the hit event here, we have to record. So right now, I think we're only recording the hitboxes in our collision process, but we're not recording any kind of hit properties. And we also need to copy those hit properties over. So that's what we want to do. So we got these. So we have attack hitbox scratch data, and this is what we're storing. What is the format for that? Right now it's just a list of hitboxes. Okay. So, we're gonna have to have a list of hit properties, not just hitboxes. And for each hitbox, we're gonna have to copy over those properties. So this might be a little bit of involved work. Let's see what part of the code where you assign a hit event. Do we have access to the character's current hit action? If we do, let's just pull down the action data to simplify things. In a proper world, I'd probably copy over. I'd probably make a temp data structure to store those hit properties and then copy it over from there, so that we can be kind of doing a better job of separating these things, so that the collision processor is not really responsible for pulling in action data directly in the part of the code where we're only supposed to be assigning the hit event. I don't know. I think both ways kind of okay. I could talk more about that with people if they're interested in it. But yeah, where's our hit event? Okay, so this is part of the code where we okay, so we have our collision phase, and we've gone through here. Again, it's been a long time since I looked at this code, so we decided here. What do we have access to here? Well, we have access to the reaction attacker index. So if we have the attacker index, we should be able to get in their hit property, the current active hit property, right? So because it comes directly from the action data. And if we look at the other place where we actually kind of collected this data, like action data. So action data comes from, okay, so we actually have to make a call to the find action code. So that's gonna make it a little more complicated. So we could do that here, I think, in the same way. Again, it might make more sense to cache the action data, but we won't do that for now. We'll just do this. But do we have access to the character data here? I don't think we do. That's another problem. We actually need the character data first before we can find action in the character data. So, how do we get the character data? Oops. Sorry. That's just the module. But we need a game data.characters at item entity. Okay, so that might just work actually, because we do have the entity index. So going back up here to our event processor here. I'm just going to drop it in the bottom here. Yeah, I'm not getting auto formatting. That's fine. It's fine. Oops. Okay, so if you have that, so we want the attack. I forget this attacker index actually is. Okay, that's the proper index, right? The entity index, I think that's correct. I think that's right. If it's not right, well, it's all going to blow up. So it would be the attacker. Okay, so we have the action data here, and instead of doing this, hit this thing, right? We can do this. Let's go ahead and comment this out real quick. And we're going to take that launch value just as a test real quick in our character data. So action data dot attack property dot hit property dot launch is launch. Okay, so we should be able to configure at least now the is launch property. Again, the plan is to go through here, and instead of copying each property manually, I will just copy the whole set of properties and then assign it within the reaction itself. Right now, we're not doing that. So going through here and testing the code. Oh, we got a compile error. Not too surprising there. Use undeclared identifier game data. So we need game data. Okay, where does the game data come from? Let's find it. Let's find out. Oops. Game state, character data. No. Collision properties. Collision. Okay. Collision system, game data. Where does that equal? Oh, so we actually have to do something like this. Game state.game data. That's fine. We can do that. Where does this come from? Game state. Do we have it? Oh, it's passed into this. So we might have it in the code that we're looking for. Where's the error at? 104. Do we have give a game state here? Yes, we have game state. Great. So we can pull that in. So we'll do this kind of ziggy thing. Oh, I hate that formatting though. Manually do it all. Okay. There we go. I don't want this. Oh, yeah. This is a thing. Yeah, there we go. And we have game data. It doesn't like it. No, we have it though. No, we don't have it. Use undeclared identifier action name. We don't have the action name. Oh, we need to find the action name. Oh, where's the action name come from? Really? We have to do this? Oh. We get the current state. Get the action name. So yeah, this is kind of a nasty because we make a string and then we get the action name. We copy the name of this action. Probably a better way of doing this. But it's not our priority at the moment. So at least this is safe, I think. What we're doing here is the most important thing. Then we have to get the state machine. State machine comes from this. Okay, we're almost there. This is kind of why I probably should have cached this instead of like pulling it in manually again. I could probably make this utility function as well. Oh, we don't have the entity right. The entity is attacker index. That should be right. Maybe it's wrong actually. In current state. And what is current state? How do we? Oh my God! I'm gonna go mad here. Yeah. Okay. We don't want this. We don't want entity. We want the. Actually, we don't need to get the state machine actually here. Okay. Put in. This is why I didn't actually want to do this here. Okay. Maybe the attacker index may not be the entity index here. Where did I miss this at? Oh, state machine. Oh, because we have to do that as well. Okay. Just gonna make this super long. Oops. No member name state machine instruct action state machine. Okay. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Double that by accident. Okay, doesn't crash. And let's see what's going on here. We have hitboxes. Do we hit? We do hit, and we do launch. Okay, now, if we change that launch property to false, do we not launch? That's the question. And that should work. Yeah, it doesn't launch. So we are now using the hit properties. We just now need to support all the hit properties, which we're just going to do by copying over the whole struct into our hit event. So just recalling where hit event is, I think it's in our game state. Hit event, yeah. So right now we have all these properties. What we actually want to do is we're going to pull in character data. I think we already have it here. Do we not? Yeah, we have character data. So we have this. We're going to have actually just call it hit property, and it's going to be a character hit property. That's what that type is, and we'll just copy it over. Instead of copying all this stuff, we'll leave this intact until we replace it. So go into our collision system. See how we append this? So let's go ahead and just copy that there and add hit property equals. I know my coding style is all over the place on this. Again, because I kind of mixed what Zig wants and what I'm used to doing in things like the Unreal Code base. But anywho, yeah, pull in that. See how we have the action property here. So we're just going to copy that over, right? And we're going to start ignoring all these other properties here in a second. But so you'll see where we use this like isLaunch. We can just completely get rid of that here in a bit. For example, we're going to find where we use that. isLaunch is used here. Okay, so instead of that, we'll do like hit property dot isLaunch, and it should work in the same way. And then we can like go through and replace all the hit properties. So okay, and no issue there. Okay, so let's just look through all the places where we use hit event. So look at all these places. Wow. So we have to go through here. That's fine. That's the defender ID. Don't care about that. Attacker ID. We can skip all that stuff. But guard stun is something we do want to replace. So we can do hit property. That should work. And we can actually pop up a little hit event dot whatever and replace it with a hit property wherever we want to do it. So let's do that wherever we want to do it. So nope. There we want to do it. Oops, let's go back. We want to do it there. Not there. There. I think we went through all the places we want to do it. Okay, and let's look at our search real quick. Do we have any place where we want to replace it? Defender hit property. It looks all good here, I think. Guard stun. No, we did. Okay. That looks all good, I think. I think we're good. We might not have to do much more than that. Let's run it real quick. Alrighty. Oop. I don't know. I'm getting a special cancel automatically. So I missed something, I guess. There's no hit stop as well, as you probably noticed. So let's double check where hit stop is real quick. Stop. It's here. Oh, the issue is we don't have default. Sorry, we need to actually assign the JSON values for each of these, right? Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is copy all this stuff over. And let's see, what's our JSON file? JSON character. No, it's test character 1. That's right. And I think I'm just gonna pull this over here so we can easily see our hit properties. I know it's kind of a annoying, kind of like annoying horizontal layout at the moment. I'm just gonna do this real quick to make it easier to see for all of us. We have hits on here. Okay, so we just need to go through all these and assign the property, right? Okay, so we have hit stun, guard stun, hit stop, knock back, da da da. So we're just gonna go through here and assign them all. Right now we just have this launch, so the first one we want to do is hit stun, and we have it we have it 1,000 right now. Okay, because it's a launch, so it's like whatever. They come out hit stun when they touch the ground. And yeah, next one is what? Guard stun. Doesn't really matter. We're not using that much right now. Just hit stop. Assign that to 10. Knockback. And I think I named these all the same, right? So it's fine. Knockback is 10,000. Okay. And yeah, is launch. It's false right now. We'll turn it back on though. And then knockback is 2,000, and then launch velocity y is currently 20,000. It's not equals. It's okay. I think that's good. And let's just launch the game real quick and see if we have any issues. Why did you decide to go write Zig instead of something like C++? Well, I can tell you why I didn't do C++. C++ is a very big language with a lot of complications, and I would spend a lot of my time explaining C++ things, the weird quirky things of C++ and things to avoid, as opposed to Zig. Zig is, I was thinking of doing it just plain C, but plain C doesn't give you kind of the generics or code generation that other languages do. So I kind of want to go with Zig. It was kind of a choice between Zig and Odin, who are both seem to be kind of like modern C replacements with things like code generation. So I just picked Zig because it was one I was interested in. I did a few test projects and I'm like, okay, this works good enough. There's an existing graphics library, hardware abstract interface for things like input devices, so like you have game controllers and such. So yeah, I went with it. Seemed easy enough. Yeah. Do you need to set properties for every move, or are there defaults for moves without? Yeah, so there is defaults. Defaults are in our struct right now. Basically, if you go to our character data, again, if you go to this hit properties, whatever we assign here is our defaults, right? This will be the default. You technically do the default where we assign where we actually init here. This just says pull in the defaults for all the fields. And right now, I just zero everything out. It's the simplest thing to go with. Yep. The reality is designers should be assigning hit properties, every single hit property you need, making sure they're the values you want, right? And obviously we can pick sane defaults, and I think these are pretty much sane defaults. When you're not sure, set it to 0. Okay. Anywho, let's see if that runs. I'm sorry. Okay, turn on hit properties, still there. That's a launch, as you can see. And now, instead of changing code, we can go to our hit properties here and say, let's make it go really high. Let's go really high. Let's make it like 90,000. Obviously, we would like to like a hot reloading game. Oop, there you go. Gets launched to hell. Gets launched to heaven, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, that was implementing hit properties. It's pretty simple. We can go through and clean up some of the code now, things we don't need anymore. Right, so our hit event doesn't need all this stuff because we're just assigning it directly from our hit property. We could use it as override in certain cases where we want to pragmatically override stuff, but and the truth is we could just set the hit property struct anyway, so we don't really need all that stuff in the hit event. So let's open up our game state, which I think our hit event is at. We can go through and delete all this. So everything here, other than the attacker ID, defender ID, and the hit property, we can delete. And also make sure in our collision system we don't have any of this stuff anymore. So that's just gone. Makes things much simpler here. Should this all work? Unless we're actually checking it somewhere that I forgot about. Cool. And that's pretty much what's on our agenda. One of the things I want to do soon, though, is add the ability to hot reload the code. And even if we can detect changes on the fly, maybe make it configurable so you don't always have it happen if you don't want it to happen. But it'd be nice to be able to just like make changes in the JSON file and see the changes in real time in the game. That's very, very useful. Okay, so yeah, honestly, that's kind of what was on. Not a debug menu. Often game engines will let you change data on the fly, so that you can see see your changes in real time, right? Usually in the editor, if the editor is integrated with the engine itself, often that's the case. Unreal Engine is not really an integrated editor, so it doesn't really have hot reloading per se in the game. You can implement it yourself, but if you're running the game within the editor itself, you can see changes in real time, as long as it's like in a simple struct or something, like plain old data. It also applies to classes in Unreal. Unreal makes a distinction between classes and structs that don't really exist that much in C++ itself, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go through and commit these changes, and to be honest, that's pretty much what was on my agenda today. We did pretty good on time, I think. 46 minutes. Cool. Nothing too crazy today. Let's go ahead and just apply the reaction system, collision system, game state, character data, and we can do all this stuff. Okay, yeah, and just say supported per action, supported per attack, hit properties. Okay. The thing is, as you saw, we only have a single hit property, attack property per action. In a real game, you probably want actions that have sets of hit properties, right? Attack properties. So like this frame, there are moves that hit multiple times, and I could do that on the next stream. Like, okay, let's support actions that have multiple hits, and things get more complicated starting from there. So I wanted to first do something simple, and then we can add complexity on top. I also want to add hot reloading, like I mentioned before. So probably do that next stream. Yeah, and maybe in the future I'll add like MGUI or something if it's currently supported by. I know there's probably a Zig wrapper or something, so that we can just directly use the C library. Though I think isn't MGUI C or is it C++? I keep forgetting. I'm talking about DR MGUI. Oh, if super is not killing early if the opponent is below his turn threshold. I think you're just talking about that's more like branching. I'm just talking about like multi-hit moves, like I don't know, like some of the Faust player, Faust has going my way, it hits multiple times, right? That's what I'm talking about. Currently, we don't support multi-hitting moves with different hit properties. Right. Or like for example, you think of something really simple like Soul's, was it Ground Viper? He slides along the ground, hitting multiple times, and then the final hit will like launch. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that also could be a thing. The first hit high and the rest could be mid. That's also a thing, right? We don't support that right now. We support multiple hits in theory by having like disjoint in time hitboxes. Though I'm not saying it's going to work properly, but yeah, in theory you could do that right now with the game data. Well, just for fun, real quick, before we close up shop here, right now we have a normal attack and a special attack. We have this normal attack here and the special attack, which is this quarter circle forward. I know it doesn't look pretty, but we have it. You notice that this doesn't have any properties on it right now, right? Because we didn't assign anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just disable the launch property on this one. Let's just make it. I'm just gonna make this default. We don't care about the launch velocity. We don't care about air knockback. Oh, we might do if we hit someone in the air, so we'll come back to that. But we'll make it not a launch. And hit stun is gonna only be like 20 frames or whatever. How long is the duration on this attack? So start frame is 8, duration. Wait, that's just attack. This is 20 frames duration. Okay. So it's going to be plus for sure if we have hits under 20. But we're going to make it plus for now because we're jerks. Well, okay. Let's be less of a jerk. We start on frame 8, so 8 minus 20. That's a pretty quick move, isn't it? 20 frames. That means we have, effectively 12 frames of recovery. So if we want to make it basically even, we can say 12. It's probably off by 1 error here. And guard stun, do we want guard? Do we want to be plus on guard? Nah, we'll make it even. Anyway, so that's our property there. And let's copy this over to our special move real quick. And we'll make that a launch instead. So we're going to maintain the hitbox. Oh, we'll just reuse the hitboxes from this one. So goodbye, attack hitbox groups. Oops. And now we have a hit property. I messed up here, didn't I? That's not what I want to do at all. We want to copy this whole thing. Sorry. The whole attack property here. Copy that. Now go into our special. Replace this. Well, we could use the hitbox, to be honest. So we'll use its hitbox. I think it's the same. I think it's the same hitbox, isn't it? Yes, the same hitbox. Okay. We get rid of this one because we don't need any more. Go through here. We have our attack property. And now let's make this a launch. And just make the hit stun like, I don't know, 100 or something. It doesn't really matter because, again, we're being launched. Let's make it super negative on block because we're jerks. Make a big hit stop, though, because we want to make it feel like powerful. Like, boom. Let's make it a whole second. Because why not? Okay. And let's run it. Oh, I'm already running it. Let's run it again. Okay, so we got our normal attack. And we got special attack. That was very long, wasn't it? This stuff was way too long for the little wimpy launch that we have, right? Okay, so we can launch it a little bit higher just for fun. And reduce the hit stop a little bit. It's a little long. Let's make it 35. Okay. What does it look like now? Damn. Oof. I wonder if our game's actually proper running at 60 FPS, to be honest. It feels long. The hit stop feels long. But, yeah. And the height is a little high. It's fun. It's cool. It's cool for sure. But, let's make it a little lower and shorten the hit stop to 20. Luckily, our game launches really fast, so we don't really have to worry about long wait times for making changes right now. But hot loading would be cool. Boom. So our combo does that. Now we can do like launch, and can we jump in the air? Ooh. Oh, because our normal hit property doesn't have a launch value on it. It's not is launch, right? So you go into a normal hit property. So that's something we could support later. I hope you understand what I was talking about there. It's because I didn't have is launch on that. When I hit them in the air, they just fell to the ground. Because it doesn't go into the launch reaction, right? We need to have an air juggle reaction that's separate from the launch reaction. So, see how it works now? It's actually launching. Because right now, we don't have like a... What we should be doing is, when they're in the air, we should go directly into the launch reaction instead of the like normal hit reaction. Which is not the case right now. It's kind of hard to juggle, to be honest. Woo! There we go. 8. And see how it's like has friction on it? It shouldn't be doing that as either. But yeah, we'll come back to that at some point. Anyway, I'm just going to submit that change. Whoops. Yeah. Where is that? Special. We don't want to have the launch there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and add that change. Okay. Adjusted the special. Assigned hit properties for special attack. There we go. Alrighty, and we haven't changed anything else, have we? Okay, that's awesome. And I'm just gonna go ahead and like just update the documentation where I don't want that one. That's not something I want to submit. I want to start planning and stream notes. Yep, updated documentation. Not proper documentation, but it is what it is. Alrighty, yeah. Is there any like questions and or anything related to what we did today? I think I'll cut this off around an hour. I think it's good time, a good length for this kind of thing. I just realized, oop, I didn't want to do that. I think I messed up my, I think I messed up my stream layout here a little bit, but because look, we have all this chat down here. That's leaking out. I thought I saved the layout, but I definitely am an OBS noob. Let's see. Color source. Not locked. This is locked. There we go. Oops. Ooh, I don't know what's going on there. I won't do that. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the layout. I'm gonna stop messing with it right at the moment because it feels like I'm trying to move the camera and it's changing this too. What the heck? What am I doing? Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna leave it as is for now and get back to it off stream. Yeah, Comic Man, you can ask an old question. Go ahead. Feel free. You want us an old question or an odd question? Let's just switch over to this one so that you can see things. Yo, yeah, Armid, thank you for coming by. The chat still is like it's leaking through here. I'm not happy about that, but I'll come back and fix that at some point. Yeah. I was reading over the input and was wondering how it worked. You mean the input interpreter? Yeah, I mean, there might be a bug there, so feel free to ask. And honestly, that's why the Discord is there. If there's any like issues you find with it, I can like walk through them in much more detail than I can in the stream. But yeah, so is this something where you think it's not working properly or just confused about how it works? Either way, yeah, go ahead and feel free to ask the question. Confused about how it works. Okay. Yeah. Do you have the specific question? I did do some simplification with the way I implemented the special move interpreter, just for the purposes of the stream, so it doesn't go on forever. So I may have inadvertently created like bugs because of that. So just keep that in mind. How would you integrate this with the combo system? Things like damage scaling and hit stun proration. Yes, is the answer. No. I mean, in various ways, right? I could go over those. It really depends on how you want to determine the hit stun proration. Like, for example, kind of the simplest thing you can imagine is the amount of hit stun left is the percentage based on a lookup table, depending on the number of hits you've done. So, for example, let's just say like each hit contributes like 20% off the total hit stun. So, say the first hit is 100% hit stun, second hit it has 20% less, so 80%. You just multiply 0.8 by the amount of hit stun, etc., etc., etc. Right? So third hit, you would get 60% of the hit stun multiplied by 0.6 by the total amount of hit stun. Apply that instead until you get down to 0, which they immediately jump out. You don't have to, obviously. having 0 hit stun is kind of unusual a lot of the time, but yeah. Okay, sorry, Comic Man, I don't know if you're hearing me or whatever, but feel free to ask the question in the Discord. We're about an hour now, so I'll be finishing up the stream. But yeah, I mean, again, thanks for coming by, everybody who watched the stream. Have any questions? We do have the Discord that I posted in the chat earlier. Oh, it looks like we got something. Okay, yeah, and yeah, feel free to chat there. We'll be doing the stream again, I think, on Thursday here in Japan time, evening out in the States on Wednesday. All right, cool. Again, thanks everybody. Have a good evening, morning, wherever you may be. See you soon. Peace.